The galaxy was old, cold, and proud. It followed one rule above all others: the strong lived. The weak vanished. Across the stars, great empires rose like storms. They fed on smaller worlds. They called it balance. They said it was nature. On the outer edge of the spiral drifted a quiet world named Letherus. Its people were small and soft by galactic standards. They had no war fleets. They had no hunger for conquest. They studied stars and sang to their young. They believed survival came from harmony. They were wrong. The warning came too late. A shadow crossed their skies, not a natural eclipse. A fleet. The predators of the inner reach arrived without fear. Their ships blocked the sun. Their weapons burned the air. They did not announce war. They never did. One of the Lethari watched from a shattered tower. He had been a scholar. He had studied ancient ruins and dead languages. Now he studied fire. Cities broke apart under falling light. Oceans boiled at the edges. The ground shook as if the world itself screamed. Defense lines failed in minutes. Not because they were weak, but because they were never built to kill. The predators descended in waves. They hunted in patterns learned over ages. They targeted shelters. They destroyed escape paths. They left survivors only long enough to spread fear. The Lethari felt lost like a physical wound. Families scattered. Children cried and vanished. The song stopped. The scholar ran through smoke and ash. He did not carry a weapon. He carried records, names, history, proof that his people had existed. He saw betrayal too. A nearby empire had promised protection. They had signed glowing treaties and smiled in public halls. Now their borders stayed closed. Their fleets did not come. The galaxy watched and did nothing. This was the cruel balance. No help without profit. No mercy without power. As the world died, the predators broadcast their victory. They declared the purge complete. They called Letherus a failed species. Another lesson for the stars: the scholar escaped aboard a damaged scout ship. It was never meant for long travel. Its hull cracked. Its fuel was low. But it moved. Behind him, his home burned. The planet fractured, then went silent. A world erased, logged as a footnote in some distant archive. Drifting through dark space, the survivor learned the truth. The galaxy did not care. Pain was common. Extinction was routine. He searched star maps with shaking hands. Most regions were ruled by predators or by those who traded silence for safety. Small species hid. Large empires fed. Then he found something strange. A minor system. Barely marked. No great fleets. No ancient empire. A young species had claimed it not long ago. The data was thin. The notes were dismissive. Average technology. Short history. Emotion-driven behavior. The galaxy did not fear them. The galaxy barely noticed them. They were called humans. The scholar felt no hope yet, only confusion. Why did the records show humans interfering in distant conflicts? Why did they send aid ships instead of war fleets? Why did predators complain about them with irritation, not fear? The scout ship drifted closer to human space. Its sensors picked up signs of recent battles nearby. Not conquests, evacuations, rescues. The survivor wondered if it was a trap or a lie. Behind him, the predators followed his signal trail. They did not rush. They enjoyed the chase. Ahead of him waited an unknown species the galaxy ignored. Weak, loud, emotional. As the damaged ship crossed the final boundary, alarm screamed. Not from attack, from something else. The human system was preparing for war. Human. Space did not look powerful. There were no massive fortress worlds, no endless battle fleets on display. The borders were thin and open, almost careless. The damaged scout ship was pulled in by human patrol craft. Not with weapons aimed, but with tractor beams tuned gentle. Medical signals flooded the channel. Emergency lights guided the ship to a station. The Lethari survivor expected fear, or suspicion, or cold rules. Instead, humans rushed to save what remained of him. They sealed hull cracks before asking questions. They treated wounds without checking value or rank. They listened. The survivor tried to explain his loss. His voice failed often. Human faces changed as they learned. Their eyes hardened, not with logic, but with something deeper, pain. Humans did not hide it. They carried it openly. They spoke of burned cities, lost colonies, and long wars of their own. They did not say this to compete. They said it to connect. The galaxy believed emotions made a species weak. Humans believed the opposite. As the survivor healed, he watched human space closely. Their technology was uneven. Some ships were advanced. Others were patched and old. But every ship carried escape pods. Every station had shelters far larger than needed. Humans planned for loss. They expected pain. They prepared to endure. The survivor learned about a strange human pattern. When a disaster happened, humans arrived fast, not always to fight, often to evacuate. They pulled civilians from dying. Worlds that offered no reward. They fed refugees that would never repay them. Other species called this foolish. Predators called it weakness. Humans did not argue. They just kept doing it. In quiet archives, the survivor found reports hidden between trade logs. Human ships had appeared during several purges. They never won those battles outright. They were pushed back, mocked, outgunned, yet they returned every time. Loss did not stop them. It focused them. The survivor asked why. Why risk extinction for strangers? Why anger stronger empires? There was no official answer, no written law, but the pattern was clear. Humans reacted strongly to suffering, not strategically, personally. When civilians died, human responses grew sharper. When children were harmed, entire fleets changed course. When predators hunted for sport, humans stopped asking permission. The galaxy had missed this. They measured power in ships and weapons. They did not measure resolve. The survivor began to understand the silence around humans. They were not ignored because they were weak. They were ignored because they did not fit the rules. Predator empires watched humans with mild annoyance. They saw protests, warnings, sanctions that meant nothing. They laughed. In the shadows of human space, alarms began to rise. Long-range sensors detected movement. Predator fleets shifting paths. Not toward human worlds, toward something else. The survivor saw the data first. A small, defenseless species marked for purge. Another quiet world. Another lesson planned. Human command reviewed the information. No speeches followed. No debates broadcast to the galaxy. Ships began to move. Not the largest ones. Not the newest. Every available one. The survivor felt fear. Return. Humans were walking into a storm they could not win. Their fleets were smaller. Their weapons weaker. Predators noticed the movement and laughed openly. They sent messages filled with mockery. They warned humans to stay away. Human fleets did not turn back. As the survivor watched from the station viewport, human ships jumped to faster than light. Not with confidence, with certainty. Far away, the predators adjusted their weapons. They prepared another easy hunt. They did not realize yet. This time, the hunt would not end the same way. The doomed world was called Enith Prime. It was small, blue, and green. Its people lived close to water and light. They had no war history. They had no allies. The galaxy had already decided their fate. Predator fleets arrived in perfect formation. Their ships were sharp and dark, built for fear, built for speed. They broadcast the purge notice across nearby systems. It was legal. It was accepted. No empire objected. Enith Prime skies filled with fire, cities broke apart as energy strikes fell from orbit. Shields failed within minutes. Evacuation ships never made it past the upper air. The Predators hunted calmly, as if following a script. They were. This was how the galaxy stayed balanced. Human ships exited faster than light at the edge of the system. Too far. Too late. Too few. Predator commanders noticed them at once. They laughed. The humans had arrived with mixed fleets and uneven lines. Some ships carried cargo pods instead of weapons. Others ran hot, pushed past safe limits. The Predators ignored the humans at first. They focused on the planet. On the easy kill, humans did not fire immediately. They sent warnings, simple signals. Clear requests. Stop the purge. Allow evacuation. Stand down. The Predators answered with silence. Then, with a demonstration, they shattered a coastal city in full view of the human fleet. Millions died in seconds. The message was clear. The humans moved. They charged straight into the kill zone. No careful formations. No long-range barrage. They split apart and dove toward the planet. Predator weapons tore into them. Human ships vanished in bursts of light. Hull fragments scattered like ash. Still, the humans pushed forward. They deployed evacuation craft under fire. They placed their own ships between the planet and incoming strikes. Some vessels burned completely while holding shields at full power. The survivor from Litherus watched from a human command station. His hands shook. This was not war as the galaxy understood it. This was sacrifice. Humans died fast. Too fast, Predator fleets adapted and tightened their net. They targeted human transports first. They learned the pattern quickly. Within hours, human losses climbed past reason. Entire squadrons were gone. The evacuation slowed, then stalled. Predator commanders began broadcasting again, this time openly mocking. They called humans fools. They called them weak. They promised to finish the purge, then hunt the survivors. Human command stayed silent. The galaxy watched the battle feeds. Observers marked humanity as another failed species. Brave, maybe, but doomed. As Enith Prime burned, human ships fell back at last. Their engines flickered. Their hulls were torn open. They carried refugees. But not enough. The Predators celebrated. The purge continued. The survivor felt the old pain returned. The same pattern, the same ending. But something felt wrong. Human fleets did not retreat far. They regrouped just outside weapons range. Damaged. Ships docked with each other. Crews worked through vacuum and fire. They did not flee. They endured. Predator sensors detected strange changes. Human signals shifted frequency. Fleet patterns changed shape. The Predators dismissed it. They believed the lesson was already taught. They did not see what the humans were building from: wreckage and loss. They did not understand what suffering was doing to them. As the purge reached its final phase, a new human fleet signature appeared on long-range scans. Not reinforcements, something else. Something shaped by pain, and it was accelerating toward the battlefield. Galaxy. The reaction was the same. Observers shook their heads. Analysts closed their files. Humanity had failed. The Predators thought so too. From their command ships, they watched the broken human fleet drift and regroup. Damaged hulls, burned engines. Too many dead. It looked like fear. It looked like retreat. The Predators had seen this moment many times before. This was when weaker species ran. This was when survival instinct overruled pride. They laughed, they turned most of their attention back to Enith Prime. The purge was almost complete. Only scattered resistance remained on the surface. The lesson would soon be finished. They did not understand what they were watching. Inside the human fleet, there was no panic. No calls for surrender. No arguments about odds. There was work. Crews moved without rest. Sleep was skipped. Wounds were ignored. Hands shook. But they kept moving. Human engineers tore apart destroyed ships and reused what still worked. Weapon systems were stripped and rewired. Shield generators were pushed beyond safety limits. Cooling systems were removed to gain power. It was dangerous. It was reckless. It was human. Loss did not slow them. It sharpened them. Every destroyed ship became a lesson. Every dead crew member became a reason. Human commanders rewrote tactics in real time, using pain as data. They stopped trying to fight like the predators. They stopped trying to win cleanly. Instead, they changed their purpose. Human ships formed new shapes in space. Loose. Uneven. Unpredictable. They spread out, overlapping shield fields instead of weapon arcs. They adjusted engines for short, violent bursts instead of long chases. They prepared to get closer. Much closer. Predator sensors noticed the shift. They flagged it as desperation. The predators believed humans were emotional and unstable. This only confirmed it. No species survived by fighting this way. In the human command centers, casualty numbers rose. Messages from homeworlds arrived. Grief. Fear. Anger. None of it stopped the fleet. Humans did not deny fear. They carried it with them. They moved forward anyway. The survivor from Letherus watched in silence. He had seen bravery before. He had seen sacrifice, but this was something else. Humans were not trying to survive the battle. They were trying to change its meaning. Predator commanders issued final warnings. They mocked human stubbornness. They offered mercy if the humans withdrew now. The messages were ignored. Instead, a single signal spread across the human fleet. Simple. Short. Protect the planet. The predators scoffed. Protection was not a strategy. It was a weakness. They adjusted their weapons to finish the purge and then erase the humans. That was when human ships surged forward again, not as a charge. As a wall. They placed themselves directly between Enith Prime and orbital fire. Shields flared and broke. Hull plating melted away. Human ships died in seconds, then minutes. Then waves. And still more took their place. Predator weapons overheated. Targeting systems struggled with the chaos. Human vessels moved too close. Too fast. Too wrong. The predators felt irritation turn into confusion. Why would a species keep doing this? Why would they accept such losses? Why did they not stop? Answer did not fit any model. As the purge slowed. Under constant interference, predator commanders realized something unsettling. Humans were not breaking. They were learning. And somewhere beyond the battlefield, something new was coming, shaped not by fear, but by refusal. The new human fleet arrived without ceremony. No warnings. No speeches. Just sudden mass. Predator sensors struggled to classify it. The ships were not uniform. Some were rebuilt wrecks. Others were civilian hulls, wrapped in armor plates. Many carried scars that were still smoking. This fleet was not designed in shipyards. It was born in loss. The predators reacted with confidence at first. More human ships meant more targets. They tightened formations and prepared a decisive strike. The humans did not meet them. Head on. They broke apart. Human vessels surged forward in erratic paths. They cut engines. Mid-charge. They burned fuel in short, violent bursts. They slipped inside firing arcs and vanished from predictive models. Predator weapons missed. Then missed again. Humans closed the distance. until space itself felt crowded. Too close for heavy cannons. Too chaotic for clean shots. Small human craft rammed larger predator ships. Not to destroy them. To disable them. To lock shields together. To drag them off course. Boarding pods followed. The galaxy had not seen this in generations. Humans fought inside enemy ships with no escape plan. They sabotaged reactors. They tore apart command nodes. They cut power and left darkness behind. They did not expect to return. Predator crews panicked. Their strength was built on control and distance. Now the fight was personal. Now fear had a face. Around Enith Prime, the purge collapsed into confusion. Orbital fire slowed. Then stopped. Human ships reformed into layered defense rings. Not elegant. Not efficient, but relentless. Every predator ship that tried to break through was swarmed. Disabled. Pulled away. Finished at close range. The survivor from Letherus watched the feeds in disbelief. Human losses were still heavy. Ships continued to die, but the predators were dying faster. For the first time, predator commanders ordered retreat. They attempted to regroup beyond the planet's orbit. The humans followed. They did not chase for territory. They did not pursue glory. They hunted. Predator vessels found that running did not save them. Human ships latched onto engines. They drained power. They forced collisions. The predators had built their empires on fear of death. Humans did not share that fear. This changed everything. One predator capital ship attempted a final strike. It aimed its remaining weapons at Enith Prime. At the civilians still evacuating below, a human cruiser moved into its path. It had no shields left. No weapons online. It stayed. The impact tore the cruiser apart, but the strike never reached the planet. The predator ship drifted powerless. Moments later. Boarded. Silent. Across the system, predator signals fell away one by one. Some ships escaped, many did not. When the fighting ended, Enith Prime still burned. But it lived. Millions survived who should have died. Evacuation ships continued to rise into orbit under human cover. The galaxy reeled. Observers scrambled to rewrite their reports. Analysts stared at broken assumptions. This was not how weak species behaved. This was not how wars were won. The predators withdrew from the system in disarray. Their fleets damaged. Their confidence shattered. For the first time in recorded history, a sanctioned purge had failed. The survivor felt something unfamiliar stir within him. Not relief. Not joy. Recognition. He finally understood the silent rule. Humans followed. They did not fight to dominate. They did not fight to survive. They fought because they refused to accept the galaxy as it was. And the predators, fleeing into the dark, began to understand something far more dangerous. They had not faced humanity's strength yet. They had only triggered it. News of Enith Prime spread faster than any fleet. It moved through trade routes, data relays, and silent diplomatic channels. A sanctioned purge had failed. Not delayed, not reduced. Stopped. The galaxy did not know how to process this predator. Empires issued statements filled with excuses. They blamed faulty intelligence. They blamed human recklessness. They blamed chaos. No one believed them. Independent systems began to review old records. They noticed patterns they had ignored before. Worlds where humans had appeared. Purge zones where survival rates were higher than expected. Conflicts where civilians vanished before fleets arrived. Humans had been there. Not winning, not conquering. Enduring. The predators felt something new take shape across the stars. Hesitation. For the first time, purge fleets paused before launching. They asked questions. They ran simulations, and every model ended the same way. Humans intervened. Humans suffered. Humans adapted. and somehow the cost became unbearable. In human space, there were no celebrations. No victory parades. Ships returned, damaged and half empty. Names were added to long lists. Humans mourned openly. They built memorials in docking bays and command halls. They told stories of lost crews. They carried the pain forward. Then they rebuilt. Ship designs changed. Training changed. Doctrine changed. Protection first warfare became standard. Evacuation corridors were hardened. Close range combat was refined. Every lesson learned at Enith Prime was written in blood and remembered. The survivor from Lethrus stayed among humans. Not as a guest. As a witness, he spoke to other refugees brought into human space. Different species. Different worlds. All saved from the same fate. They shared the same story. Humans had arrived.